This is the Samsung Galaxy A33 5G.
The 186 grams plastic phone has an IP67 certification. With a measurement of 159.7mm long, 74mm wide and 8.1mm thick, the phone still lacks a 3.5mm headphone jack, but it has stereo speakers and Bluetooth 5.1 support.
Nowadays the unboxings are very disappointing. There's a charging cable, but the adapter is missing, and of course there's a SIM card pin inside of the box, but nothing else. Fortunately there was a phone inside of this box, but I wouldn't be surprised if the next year there's no phone inside of these boxes anymore.
The resolution of the 6.4-inch Super AMOLED screen with a 90Hz refresh rate, protected by Gorilla Glass 5, is 1080 by 2400 pixels. There is an optical fingerprint sensor underneath this screen, but I find the placement a little low.
If you are not planning to use two SIM cards, there is also a micro SD card slot instead of the second SIM card.
The memory options for this phone are 128 and 256 GB. In terms of RAM, they offer us 6 and 8 GB of RAM options.
Thanks to the RAM Plus feature, we can use some of the memory as RAM.
Samsung's own Exynos 1280 processor is fine for daily usage when browsing websites or pages or any other application. In our PUBG game test, we can bring up the graphics settings to HD and choose 30 FPS, also called high frame rate, at the frame rate options. In our 30-minute game, I had one large frame drop once. The frame rate dropped to 19 FPS. Other than that, it was very stable and stayed between 29 and 31 FPS. Our phone, which was 28 degrees before starting the game, reached 40 degrees towards the end of the game, around 25 minutes.
A 9% battery was gone from our 5000 mAh battery in our 30 minutes PUBG gaming test. On a daily usage, when I didn't play games on my phone and left the house in the morning with 100% battery, the battery lasted easily till the next day until I went to bed.
This phone supports 25 watts fast charging, and in my test it charged from 0 to 50 in 30 minutes. The pictures taken with the 13 megapixels front camera come out very clear in bright environments. Sometimes it has a hard time adding the bokeh effect using portrait mode, but in general it looks great. But when it comes to dark areas, the phone starts having a hard time capturing high quality pictures. I mean, it's not the worst phone I reviewed this year, but it's also definitely not one of the best.
When it comes to video capturing, the A33 offers us 4K 30fps video capturing with the front-facing camera. Like any other phone from the A series, this one also lacks the capability shooting portrait video with the front-facing camera.
And when it comes to dark areas, this front-facing camera starts getting really noisy.
The 48 megapixels main camera on the backside of this phone actually shoots 12 megapixel photos.
I mean, there is a 48 megapixel option, but other than the almost 10 megabyte size difference of the photos, there is no noticeable difference in quality when it comes to shooting in 48 megapixel or 12 megapixels. When it comes to portrait mode on the backside of this phone, I think the bokeh effect works very well around people, but when it comes to objects, the phone has a hard time recognizing the edges. And when it comes to dark areas, it's of course not the same quality as the brighter ones, but thanks to the night mode, this phone manages to shoot photos in an acceptable quality. With the 8 megapixel 123 degree ultra wide angle camera, it is possible to fit the objects that you cannot fit into the normal pictures. There's also a 2 megapixel depth lens to help with portrait mode and a 5 megapixel macro lens for shooting close-ups. When it comes to shooting video with the main camera, it looks great in bright areas, but with fast movements you can clearly see the codecs and the video will get a little bit blocky. Like almost any other phone, this phone also struggles in dark areas. The videos are very dark and there's a lot of noise.
Next time I will review the bigger brother of this phone, the A53, and after that I will do a comparison between those phones. If you don't want to miss out on those videos, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!